So everybody in position.
Hang on, Rob has to put his mic on here for us.
All right, all right.
And then that's it. You any time? No, you need to. Nah, that's right. Dead on.
So we'll try and do at least half an hour here on this, all right?
Okay.
Because there's 4 dishes, and you know you're going to talk about them.
Yeah. Just
Tell us all about the dishes, and then tell us all about the
Well,
thing.
put it this, I'll be doing the introduction.
Yeah.
I'll do the introduction, introduce Rob, tell him what you do, tell him about the whole thing, then you do a bit about yourself, what all you do as well, and then I'll talk a bit about the whiskies, and then we'll do stuff after that.
okay.
Perfect.
So like a plan.
That's going.
That's going.
Is that going yet? I think it is.
Should be.
Yeah.
You've had to start on that one, haven't you?
I can edit these ones. I don't want to edit the main one.
Yeah.
If we get this one in one go, it'll be brilliant. So I don't have to be in it.
No, but I'll say that you're behind the camera,
All right.
which is the best place for you. The perfect place for it.
Right.
Okay, there is it.
So is that green and it's clipped in? Is it all right? Yeah.
Did you press that button? Yeah.
No.
No.
Is it green?
No, it's flashing orange, but
No. You switched it off.
Okay, it's green now.
no.
Yeah, it's green now. You switched it off. You see. So.
I need to have one. Actually, I think
I know. I'm gonna tell you when.
Do we have a rider for this as well? Yeah.
Fucking a writer's what we need. Never been a writer for fuck's
What
sake.
did you have for breakfast? What did you have for breakfast? Tell me what you had for breakfast.
Hangover sandwich.
Hangover sandwich, all right. Don't fistle all the time. Where's my wee fluffy thing going? It was on the top of it.
Don't think there was there.
There was a wee fluffy thing on the top of it. Here's your wee fluffy thing.
All right.
Never work with children, animals, or chefs. Oh boy.
We're folk from Ballymena.
That's all right. I'm not from Ballymena.
He's Right.
Right, we're ready.
So hold on. I'm gonna give you 5. Okay, you ready?
Right. Yep. Which one's the main camera, by the way?
Doesn't matter. You talk to him.
Right. I was going to do an introduction, but
All right. Well, do it to this one then. All right.
no problem. Hello and welcome to the Irish Whisky Review with me, Marty McAuley. My mate man Justin behind the screen, behind the camera here tonight. So straight down and say hello, Justin.
Feed me! Feed me!
Now, we have a very special guest tonight. We have a friend of mine, Chef Rob Curley, from the Slemish Market Garden Supper Club. And we're going to be talking about whiskey and food. Now, we're very used to having a wine waiter or a sommelier telling us that a Chablis goes with a turbot and mussels and this kind of thing. But with the increase in brown spirits, with the renaissance of whiskey, I decided that it would be a good idea to come and talk to Rob about pairing whiskey with food and cooking with whiskey in food. So I'll let Rob introduce himself and tell you a bit about what he does, and then we'll get down to tasting some whiskies and, even better, some food. So, Rob.
Thank you, Marty. Thanks for inviting us and Justin to this great momentous day of whiskey and food. It's such a great combination, kind of a new combination now that people are utilising. Than, as you said, the sommeliers do the food with wine, and then there's beer that started, and why not whiskey? That it's the national drink of here, and it blends very well with flavors of different food types, but it has a bit of a niche as well that you have to watch the characters of each whiskey. So
I think people have sort of preconceived ideas. They think that whiskey. A lot of people have the old whiskies, and there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, the sort of Powers and Black Bush and this kind of thing, which are standalone by themselves. But with all these new exposures, people are getting a bit more. More access to bourbons, and there's still some of the old scotches and that kind of thing floating about. But whiskey and food, it's kind of a new concept, a bit like your own food. Now, I've been to a couple of your Slemish Market Garden supper clubs that you run every month, which are fabulous. The innovation and imagination that you have is, I think, unbelievable. The presentation's superb, and even the concept behind it. Now, if you want to tell everybody a little bit about the concept behind the supper club.
Okay. Well, as Marty said, I run Slemish Market Supper Club, so it's like a pop-up restaurant that goes from venue to venue, all around County Antrim and Northern Ireland and Europe, and we've won a lot of awards through the restaurant bodies, and represented Ireland at the World Tapas Championships in Spain 2 years ago. So, but the concept is it's like a 6 course or more tasting menu, but only using produce from here in Ballymena and County Antrim. A little bit outside, but not too much. We and sourcing plates and crockery, and if I don't make it myself, I have an artist making it for me. So we're using everything that we have. We have a wild of an abundance of fantastic food here and drink, and I just want to use it and utilize it, because when you look, people think, oh, we only have whatever the usual broth and potatoes and potato bread and all that, but when you open your mind, we have such bounty. Like, I bring top chefs from all over Ireland up to join me to do collaborations, and the one stipulation I say, you have to use our produce, and they're amazed about the produce that we have.
But it's strange, because Ballymena, this part of County Antrim, is known for agriculture. It's known for farming, and yet we don't have from popcorn you get shoveled out. You can kind of get the smell, but once you take it out at the cinema, it's not really the same. That's amazing. That's absolutely wonderful.
And the bourbon just lends well to it, because it's made from corn as well. Yeah. So you're adding the same corn on corn. And
it's got a little bit of heat in it, which is sort of surprising. With the whiskey, when the whiskey comes in, you kind of get a little bit of whiskey heat off it. It just sort of lifts it. And I mean, this has been sitting here for a few minutes, and so but you kind of feel as if it's just sort of still warm. It's a lovely, warm, buttery corn sweetness. Which is, I'm not a big sweetie fan. I don't have a sweet tooth. That's just pretty much spot on.
It's good. Like,
just to please Justin.
Did I get through this time, buddy? Did you get through?
No, you get one, son. One. Right. I'm keeping that one for later. So Justin's all happy with this. You can give us your critique on this once you're finished, Justin, right? No. So that's a bourbon.
Taste of the cinema. So it's just,
it's beautiful.
A nice warming cocktail, even though it's cold, but as I said, it's warming.
It is, it's warm.
You know,
the heat of the whiskey comes through where you think it's warm, but it's actually cold. Yeah. It's really, really.
So, like, you can imagine sitting on with a turf fire and drinking a couple of them or whatever, you know, and then waking up the next morning and have a hangover sandwich.
You know me well. You know me well. No, so I'm actually a big fan of this bourbon. I think it really is nice. It's a lot better than some of the other ones that you get. You know. Now we're going a little bit back to sort of tradition, but again, I want to add another flavour to the mix, and we're going Redbreast Lustow Sherry Cask. So this is sherry finished. It's got sherry sweetness, which we haven't really done yet. We've done port with the pot still, with the Dingle pot still. And this is a slightly different animal. So a little bit sweeter, a little bit more sherry depth to it, you know.
Yeah, you can smell the sherry off it. I love sherry. Yeah, it's very, very clear and clear, pronounced flavors in it. You know, you can just taste the nuances of sherry off it, and it's just superb.
It is.
Yeah, it's not too sweet, not too spiced. Just well rounded.
The thing about this, I think it's actually, although the sherry's there, you're still getting the wood influences coming out of it. You're getting that kind of oak, and it's balanced. It's got a nice balance where you've got that wood and the sherry that don't really cancel each other. They really complement each other in this. I personally think this goes quite well dessert-wise. You know, it's kind of a little bit dessert winey type area. You know, I could see where it could come in on that, but it's that sort of this time of year whiskey, if I'm honest.
Yeah,
it's kind of, you know what I mean. It's that kind of cooked fruit, you know, stewed fruit, possibly. You're heading towards Christmas, but not there yet. You know
yeah. No, yeah, you're right with the desserts, but I also think it would go perfect with a cheese.
Mm-hmm.
So something like a hard cheese, maybe a cheddar. There's some fantastic cheeses out there, but one in particular would be Kells Bay cheese from County Kerry. That's it's actually where my mother's from, but it's a fantastic cheese. That's almost like a Parmesan in a way, but anything like that, I think it cuts through it, but perfectly with any cheese, kind of in a way. Or a dessert. It's fantastic. I think if you brought that over to Cadiz or Jerez in South Spain, where they make all the sherry, they would be thumbs up. They definitely get
absolutely
a thumbs up with that, because you can definitely taste the nuances of sherry.
Yeah,
you know,
I'm a great believer.
Bring it to the bodegas there, and
this type of whiskey paired with some cheese as well. Because whenever you put good cheese in your mouth, and I'm a great believer in mouthfeel. You know, when it comes in, that sort of fat that coats your mouth, and whenever you get higher alcohol, so not your wine, I don't think really cuts this. When you get the higher alcohol, it cleanses your palate, it cleans the fat away, which kind of gives you brings that new taste in, because it sort of cleanses the fat away, and then the alcohol does this, and I think that really works quite well. So when you have that, your lower strength alcohols, the lower ABVs, you know, 13, 14% wines really aren't going to cut it with that. So you need the whiskies, you need that punch to sort of knock that out, you know.
And but also the taste has to be good, you know. But but I think olives would be lovely, fantastic with olives. It's just at the start, for like a tapas dish, you know, with a glass of this whiskey and a plate of olives, or just nibbling away, you know, at the start of your meal or whatever, you know.
Anything I'll go with,
you know.
I wouldn't have thought of that, but then that's where you
No, I think so. Even with the taste of the olives, that they're bitter and they're not bitter, but you know, and then even with a drizzle of really good olive oil and all that, you know, and it just cuts through everything, and then you get the flavor of that. I think that'd be fantastic. That'd be excellent. Yeah, that's excellent.
Yeah, as I say, I wanted to bring you sort of expressions of lots of them, and I wanted to bring good ones, because there's a bit of me thinking, I wonder should I bring just sort of a few of the ordinary bog standard ones. I don't mean bog standard, but the entry level ones. So I kind of thought I'll bring the quality stuff, because I mean, I think that's where your food is. So I want to bring that to that, you know. Now, we've done in some ways the easy parts, okay? So we have to go big, okay? What's going to work when you bring out the big hitters, Lafroig. Okay, what food is really going to go with a Lafroig 10? This is a bonfire in your mouth. Okay, anyone who's never tried a Lafroig, it's one of those. We were saying Marmite, so you either like it or you don't. I know people who love Lafroig. I know other people who can't sit in the same room as someone drinking it, or even having a bottle opened. But you have to. There's no point in going easy at these things. Go big or go home. You know. So there you go. We don't need. There we go. Now, this is from the lovely island of Isla, just across.
Okay, straight across from Rathlin.
Just straight across from Rathlin.
Very good. It's one of my favourite places.
And like this, I always think with Lafroigs, massive peat, loads of smoke, loads of fire, but there are nuanced flavours go through it. You know, I always pick up a citrus note coming through, which I really get from Lafroig. It's that it really gets that. It's surprising because there's a clean note comes through in the middle of it. You're not going to mistake this for anything else, really.
No, definitely no. You can get you can get slight citrus.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, very peaty, very turf smoke flavour.
Yeah.
No, I like it. It's good. It's you wouldn't be having it now as back-to-back drinks or whatever, you know, maybe at the start or the end of the evening, you know, just for
You're not going to have this at the start of a meal.
No, because it takes all the flavours of you. But even just from the mouthfeel and the tastes, it brings you back memories of turf fires in your granny's house,
absolutely,
your granny's cottage, and or turf fires in pubs, you know. Exactly. And it brings back memories. It's really good. And you can get the citrusy as well off it there.
Definitely can.
That's it's very profound, but it is what it is. You can't take it. You can't take it. You can't say it's not. Smoky and turf peat, but that's what we're like my father was from the bog, you know, down in the Midlands and Offaly and all that, and cutting turf, and the turf, we had turf that's where our fires and all that, and you go into the granny's house and that's the first thing that hit you, and then so you're used to it, but it brings back great memories, and that's memories in a glass. Memories in a glass.
Always tell people this is what good whiskey should always be about. It doesn't, taste wise, you like what you like. Loads of people just don't like peat. But if you have a bottle and you've opened it with your friend or your dad, or it creates a smell. I keep referring, one time I did a whiskey tasting, and the guy, you know, I said to him, "What are you getting?" And he said, "Oh, it smells exactly like one of my granny's old cupboards." It was that sort of clean oak. And he thought, but is that right? That's no right. That's what you like. Yeah. And it brought back the fact that this
memories, and that's what food is, and drink is totally about memories. Like, you know, if you say to somebody, "What's your favorite food?" Probably 9 times out of 10 they'll say my grandmother's or my mother's
mince and potatoes or something.
Yeah, or stew or soup or some of that, you know. Yeah. Because it brings back memories of a happy time, or, you know, and that they just loved it, and that's what it is.
It's like, that comfort food.
Yeah, it's comfort, and we all look for comfort.
Of course, yeah, especially now.
Yes,
got for everything.
I think we should be all drinking these, you know. Think we're back at the pub, you know. Even though the pub only opened yesterday, but
pub only opened yesterday, and now they're telling us we're only allowed to drink at 10 o'clock.
I know, but
don't be looking for house parties, kids. Okay. But seriously, don't. But no, I love Lafroig again. I'm a big fan of it, but I can totally see why people just don't get it. You know,
but people don't like everything. You don't have to like everything.
No,
but
you can't.
You know, and I've paired it with something that again, like you says, Lafroig is like Marmite. I've paired it with something exactly like Marmite, a food that I was almost reared on. But I love it. So the dish is like an after dinner drink, after a meal, as like the Lefroy that you'd have it at the end of your night, because it's so pronounced and so flavoursome and strong that I've done is like an after dinner drink. So what it is around here is a lot of pubs, and up the north coast and Rathlin and all that's seaweed. We always had seaweed, so we need to dulse and dillisk. So I've used dulse, and I have made dulse crisps. So usually in the bars you'd have a bowl of dulse, and they'd eat that instead of peanuts.
Yeah.
So it's quite umami, and it's flavoursome, and it's chewy, and
loves the stuff.
Yeah, and it's. But what I've done was, so I made the liqueur. The liqueur is, everybody needs a friend who's a fisherman. So it's fisherman friend liqueur, and then it's with the Lefroy whiskey. So and then I've flavoured the dulse crackers, seaweed crackers, with fisherman friend as well. So it's really crispy, and then you get the real flavors of fisherman friend. So fisherman friend is like, it's like Marmite. You either like it or you love it or you hate it. But I really like it, and it just adds. You get like, you feel like you're coming from Islay or Rathlin Island. You know, it blows you in the face. Hits you.
Wonderful. I'm a huge fan of dulse. I've now taken that. I don't make a BLT anymore. I make a DLT. I fry dulse. Dulse instead of bacon. It's lovely because it's actually quite sweet, and the saltiness leaves it a bit when you fry it.
Yeah.
It becomes slightly sweet, like good, really good bacon, and crispy like good bacon. I love dulse.
Yeah, dulse is fantastic. I use it in a lot of stuff, but it's really fantastic. And then just making that liqueur, and it tastes of fisherman friends, and then you get the pure turf smoke from the Lefroy whiskey out of it.
Absolutely wonderful.
And then just the complement, actually the crackers, when you drink it and eat it there, it balances, you know, because
this is literally like being at the sea.
Yeah.
It really, really is. That's fabulous.
And every person needs a friend who's a fisherman. That's really good.
Folks, honestly, you really want to be where I am right now. You really want to be where I am. This is like going on the boat. I now live down by the sea. Excuse me. This is fabulous. Fabulous. Totally goes with Lefroy. The lovely menthol. It's actually got a little sweetness in this that comes through. It's lovely. Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, it's good. It's really just great for the end of a meal. Great for the end of the meal, just to, when you go outside and just warm you up, and you know.
Absolutely. See, on a winter's night when it's sort of cold and you know the snow's on or it's almost there. If Robert Scott had this, he'd have been at the Antarctic first. This is fabulous, absolutely fabulous. Rob, I've exhausted all my whiskey supply with you, my friend. But I have to say, it's been fabulous. I think whiskey and food, this might not be an obvious thing for people, but it definitely is there. I mean,
yeah, it's not an obvious thing, but it has to be exhausted, you know, the kind of, and used.
Yeah.
Because it's there. It's the national drink, and you know, you know, there's so much flavors, as you said. There's the old world of whiskies.
Yeah.
And then there's the new worlds that are changing with different
finishes
and all that. And there's so many options out there to use our
Really
foods, but use it in a sustainable, local way. That kind of way.
Yeah.
And it's finding that, and I love it using that.
Yeah. I think what we've had here today has been absolutely marvellous. One thing I will say is we'll not try and get Frank McCook on the whiskey. That wouldn't be good. I haven't seen Frank for a little while. Frank, if you don't know, McCook is the one. He's more the public relations at the Slemish Market Garden where Rob gets lots of his vegetables. His wife Linda's probably actually the work behind it. Frank has told me that his wife Linda is 1 in a million, and Linda has told me that Frank was 1 in. But the stuff they do is fabulous.
Yeah, no, it's fabulous. It's just great using fabulous produce, and
Absolutely.
we have one of the best produce around from them and all the producers that use in County Antrim, and just to highlight it with whiskey and with it's just I love doing it.
Yeah, and they have no better ambassador than Rob. So with that, Rob, I will we'll sign off, and I hope you enjoyed that, folks. Check out Rob. His Facebook page and stuff will be at the bottom of tonight's broadcast, and check out. And if you do get a chance, do go and get his food because it is stunning. Justin ate another bit of dulse. I'm going to have to go and have words with him. So, Rob, thanks very much.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Marty. Thanks, Justin.
Us.
That's us.
Good.
How long was that?
45 minutes.
Was it?
I for some reason I didn't think it was just as long as that.
It was 45 minutes. I can assure you it was superb. By the way,
I only have
that dulce is fucking